Ooh, the sun's out. So glad I wake up naturally like this. Good morning, me. Looking like Gojo as always. Ah, what a beautiful day. Just the kind of day to make a YouTube video about things that don't deserve their own whole video, but I still want to talk about. But what would I make it about? Whatever. Apple News. Taylor Swift and... Who gives a fuck? Wait a minute. That gives me an idea. What's poppin', best looking community in all of YouTube? Today, for no reason at all, we're gonna make a short and quick video about things that I, in my opinion, think are overrated. And my dear mind readers, as you've heard from my internal monologue, these are things that I think about very often, but I don't think that they deserve a video by themselves, about themselves. But who knows what the future holds. And disclaimer, very important, overrated does not mean bad. Say it with me, overrated does not mean bad. The same way mid does not mean fucking awful. So don't get offended, these are just my opinions, my thoughts, the ramblings of an insane, delusional man. And when you see your favorite thing ever on the tier list, I urge you to hear me out. I love you no matter what, I promise you, don't worry. Let's go. And to start it off, we're gonna start with the inspiration of this video. Put her in, my big brain cannot comprehend this level of overrated because dog. What the fuck? I've said in some of my previous videos that I don't get the idol culture, and some of her songs are catchy, I guess, but the fact that she's been elevated to some god-level cult status is so beyond me, it's unbelievable. She's become the most popular artist of our generation. Like, really? For what? Actually, genuine question. I mean, if you guys have answers, I'd like to know, because to me, she sounds like the white bread of pop music. And I guess when I say it out loud, that just means that everyone likes her. But didn't she, like, a couple years ago re-release an album that she already released like a couple years before that, and people went fucking batshit over it? That's like your favorite YouTuber re-uploading a video. But I need to know, do you guys have any idea as to why Taylor Swift is so beloved? I get the girl next door country vibe thing, but she's transitioned from that. I'll give her her flowers though. She has one of my favorite memes currently, which is this one. Although Taylor, to be fair, you flew right into that one. Whatever, moving on. I'll take you back to 2011 with this one. And we're putting bacon in the slightly overrated tier. I think bacon is good. I think bacon is delicious. I jump at the opportunity to eat the strips of golden, juicy, fatty pork. But since I was a child, and I'm sure as many of you guys know, since you were children, you've been hearing the bacon is fucking god tier spam. And this comes from like iFunny and 9gag users. Yes, I just unlocked a core memory. iFunny and 9gag were a thing for a long time. But chill out. Bacon's good. It's not the best fucking food. Some of you might be asking right now, why is he making this tier list? Why the fuck do we care? I wish I could answer you. Alright, moving on from bacon, we're gonna go Kardashians next. They're going straight into the S tier with Taylor Swift. My big brain cannot comprehend this. Is Luca a misogynist? Why is he putting women in the S tier? No, guys, I'm not a misogynist. I'm not a misogynist, I promise you. Again, not a hot take, but actually, what the fuck do these guys even do? Besides fuck Ray J and free OJ Simpson. And the guy who did that isn't even alive. I mean, there's fucking 20 seasons of this show. Are you telling me that this show is more goated than SpongeBob? I refuse to believe it. Do you guys watch this? Honestly, do you watch this? Do you watch reality TV in general? I will confess, I do sometimes, but the Kardashians are something that I will never ever stoop to. Mostly because I don't understand it. And that kind of makes me sound old, but I promise you I'm not old. Okay, my anime fans, One Piece next. This is gonna hurt a lot of you, but I have to do it. It's going in pretty overrated. Yep. And I'm talking about One Piece Part 2 in particular. So don't get me wrong, I love One Piece, and I love One Piece Part 1 even more, but Part 2, severely overrated. It's also kind of a bad time to be talking about One Piece being overrated, because what's happening in the manga right now is actually really interesting, and is probably the best One Piece has been in a long time, but we can't have recency bias. After all, Wano was so fucking long, it feels like it was 99% of the time skip so far. And I know that's wrong, but that's what it feels like. And the reason I say that it's pretty overrated is because Part 2 in particular lost a lot of that joie de vivre and childhood wonder that Part 1 had. Something that, fuck you Fly, something that Hunter x Hunter has. But the reason it's really overrated is because a lot of One Piece fans think that it is infallible. I mean, you check out the One Piece subreddit and you'll see Oda dick riders, Oda glazers in every corner of the universe. But I assure you, it's okay to critique people, don't be scared. Even if it's your favorite anime, it's fine to critique. I critique mine all the time. Alright, this is a big one. Mr. Beast. I'm putting him in the overrated tier. And I know, I have a lot to say about this, so bear with me. And let me preface this by saying, I, in particular, don't really get suggested Mr. Beast content, nor do I watch it, but what I have watched from Mr. Beast is, like, relatively entertaining, I guess. I just don't understand the direct audience that he's appealing to. I do know enough about him to say, though, that he's an absolute grinder and that he's currently the king of YouTube and has found success and knows a lot more about it than most people on the platform and in the world. Credit where credit is due. However, 2 points. Point number 1, he aims to be the best content creator in the world, which I think is kind of a foolish goal for a couple of reasons. 1, content on YouTube is so drastically different that it completely depends on what audience you're catering to. Mr. Beast's content is not going to be the best for everyone in the world. What does being the best content creator even mean? Like, yeah, most views? Sure. But the bigger thing for me is that he's kind of missing the point of YouTube, in my opinion, at least what I grew up thinking YouTube was. I always felt like YouTube was a place for personality to shine for both the creators and the audience, and it feels like a lot of the Mr. Beast type content just doesn't let that actually shine. I don't know, is it just me? That's the kind of YouTube that I grew up watching, you know, the PewDiePie era king of YouTube stuff. Even like Moist Critical, who lets his personality shine through his videos. I mean, I love Charlie. As for personality, Mr. Beast's content just isn't really conducive to that. It's far more predicated on getting clicks and retention editing and just doing whack shit for the sake of views. And people definitely deify him for it. And that's where the overrated part comes from. I mean, you just look at the comment section of like Mr. Beast shorts, people are going crazy for Jimmy. And let me tell you guys, you're not going to be getting $100,000 from him most likely. It's a little more nuanced than the surface level 200+ million views he's getting per video. And point 2, something that I really want to talk about is that a lot of YouTube gurus say this, a lot of successful people say this. They say that if they went back in time with the knowledge they have now and started from nothing, they could do it over again. A lot of the times, this is just not the case. A lot of really smart, successful people will tell you, and I'm telling you right now, an element of luck is absolutely always involved. And yes, working hard will make you achieve it more likely, but you need luck no matter what. No one gets to be like the most successful at anything through sheer force of will. That's just not how it works. And that's totally okay. Such is life, my fellas. Let's move on. Alright, let's talk about American football. We're going into pretty overrated. And don't get me wrong again, I actually enjoy watching American football when it's under the guise of like big competitions like playoff or Super Bowl. And I have no issues with following sports, teams, or players in general. I do the same. But the chokehold that NFL and American football has over the American populace, I just don't fucking get it. Dude, like, nothing happens in the games half the time. A lot of the rules are completely irrelevant and bullshit, and the players are uninteresting to follow like 99% of the time. In my opinion, you could have your own opinions. Yes, Joe Burrow is sexy. I agree. It's cool. Patty Mahomes, it's fun to follow greatness. Yes. But there is a reason that no other country in the world watches this at all. Elon Musk next. I heavily debated putting him in My Big Brain Cannot Comprehend This, but I cannot put this in the same tier as the Kardashians, so I'll put him in Damn Overrated. So I went to Stanford.
What?
I know.
No way.
What? I know.
Smart and sexy.
Sit down. And at Stanford, the cult of Elon Musk was ridiculous. He had a chokehold on the student body. And I don't think it's even just Stanford. I think it's the entire Bay Area, maybe West Coast, the entire world. People are enamored by this guy. I'm sure you guys know this, but very few people talk about the fact that he didn't even found Tesla himself, even though most people seem to think so. He illegally, I might add, manipulates the stock market half the time, and he goes on podcasts and online just to talk out of his ass many, many times. And people deify him for it. And I will say, he's absolutely done great things. Most recently, he's calling out OpenAI for not being open, and he's trying to accelerate technology in some way. But at the end of the day, he is not the real-life Tony Stark. He is not the smartest man in our generation. He is a multi-billionaire businessman. That's all. The glazing is getting ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, I wanted to add Sukuna into this presentation, but you guys already know he's overrated, so we're not doing that. And let's round things off with our last two. Number 1, Disneyland Disney World is going into Damn Overrated. I really don't have much to say about this other than how can people make their personalities about being like Disney adults? I get it if like Disney characters have been your complete and utter childhood, but is it really worth it? It's so fucking expensive, dude. I was looking on Reddit how much a Disneyland Disney World vacation for a family of 4 costs, and let me tell you, it was not a trivial amount of money. And last but not least, IPAs are going into the overrated category. Just like Disneyland, so many people somehow make liking IPAs their personality. This has been a fad for like the past 10 years as far as I'm concerned, especially out here in the West Coast. And again, I like IPAs. I think they are good. But you know the people who go to a bar and will not have anything other than an IPA? Can I have a lager? No, they'll never do that. If they look at the menu and there's no IPA, they'll tell their group of friends, like, oh, dude, we have to bounce out of here because I just fucking love the taste of bitter in my mouth. If you like the taste of bitter in your mouth, read Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been saying that from the get-go. I'm just kidding. Gege, please, make the ending good. And there you have it. Luca Gojo's first tier list for random things that are overrated that have absolutely nothing to do with one another and don't deserve their own video. Unless... And again, let me reiterate, I'm really not trying to hate. I'm not trying to bash your favorite thing, even though I'm a generational hater. These are just some things that I've been thinking about for some time and I wanted to discuss with you and know your opinions on. If you agree, let me know in the comments below. If you disagree, also let me know in the comments below. I'm 100% willing to have my opinions changed. You guys just have to make a compelling argument. I don't know what you're going to change. I don't know which opinion you're going to change, but go ahead and do it. If you enjoyed, consider tossing a like. Maybe even consider joining the sexiest, simpingest, glazingest, most delusional and attractive family in all of YouTube by subscribing. And as always, leave in the comments down below what else you'd like to see, my lovelies. I'm here for you. Until next time, family, I'm out. Deuces.